This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
We spend a couple hours working, making sure the printers work, making sure everything's done so we get a nice, bright and early start on Election Day.
Yeah, today is the day. Election Day is upon us with polling locations set to open up at 7 o'clock this morning. And that story tops your news right now at 4:30. It's Tuesday, November 4th, 2014. Oh boy, let's go vote. Good morning, I'm John Potter.
I'm Andi Guevara. Thank you for starting your day with us here at Channel 2 News this morning. We're going to take a quick look at weather before we get to some of those details.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, John and Andy. Good Tuesday morning. Nice weather for our voting today. Mostly at a partly sunny skies, a high of 63, but of course cold out there right now. Temperatures in the 30s. More on your forecast in just a few minutes. Good morning.
Oh boy, we're just hours away from opening the polls for this midterm election day and the start of the voting.
And poll workers, they have to be in place by 5:45 for any last minute details before opening their doors at 7 a.m. And once the polls open at 7, they will be open for 12 hours. That means the polls close at 7 this evening. After that, the Washoe County Registrar of Voters says they'll upload the early voting numbers first. When those numbers are crunched, they'll begin with the voting numbers gathered from today. But before we start seeing the results, the Secretary of State's office needs to give their approval before each county can release them. And just as a reminder to those of you who are voting today, you must go to your assigned polling location and make sure you bring your ID with you.
Hey, check it out if you're voting on Election Day today and you need to ride your polling location found on your sample ballot. The RTC has you covered. Today you can get a free ride to your polling place. The RTC is offering free rides, and it's not just to voters today, it's to everyone from 7 to 7. And you can find more voter information like where your polling location is at KTVN.com. Click on the blue news links button.
That's a nice service. And Channel 2 News and CBS News, of course, will be on top of all the races, both locally and across the country tonight. After Channel 2 News at 5 and 5:30, Scott Pelley will have a national election update at 6, followed by CBS Evening News, then Channel 2 News at 6:30. After the polls close at 7, CBS News will have an hour of election coverage, and we will have 2 local updates that hour, then an update each hour after that starting at 10. CBS and Channel 2 News will have another hour of election coverage, capped off with a special edition of Channel 2 News at 11. We'll also be updating election results at the bottom of our screen as they come in. And of course, we'll also have results on our website and on Facebook and Twitter. So stay with Channel 2 News for campaign 2014 continuing coverage all day.
And we'll have the final results here tomorrow morning.
Of course, right.
So think of that when you're grabbing your pencil with the eraser at 2 ends.
That's true.
That is so cool. I got to get one of those because I make a lot of mistakes. Hi, Jeff. What's new?
Hey, John and Andy. Good morning to you. It's going to be a pretty good day today. We will see a few clouds out there from time to time. We have a little storm system passing just to our north today, but it really won't do too much for us. Partly sunny skies and temperatures warmer than yesterday. Traffic looks pretty good out there. No accidents to tell you about. All is good at this early hour. 4:33 your current time. Thanks for getting up with us bright and early. 34 degrees as you head out the door. Colder conditions in Lovelock, 23. We have 22 in Elko. So similar to yesterday morning. Definitely a cold start out there. But temperatures this afternoon will warm up a little bit better than yesterday, despite a cool front kind of pushing through at least the northern part of the area today. We could see a few showers up in northern California, say up toward Susanville. Alturas, looks like maybe had a shower pass through there. Also up around Winnemucca and maybe Lovelock. So generally north of Reno today, just a slight chance for a few scattered showers. That's about it. Otherwise, the storm system's fairly a quiet one, and we'll just see a few clouds out there. And our temperatures today will start out cold, 32 at 8 o'clock, 54 by noon, not too bad, and a high today of 63 degrees, which is better than yesterday's 55. So we are heading in the right direction. I think you'll like the 7-day forecast as we head into the weekend. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But yeah, get out there and vote today and have a good one.
You know what I do? I find a guy who thinks the opposite of me, and instead of us voting, we go out for pizza and beer because our votes would cancel each other out.
No, that's not the way it works.
They would just cancel each other out.
No,
So we just have pizza and beer instead.
No, you got to vote. Thanks, Jeff.
Pizza and beer.
Well, it's not just Election Day here in Northern Nevada. Of course, it's Decision Day across the country. Candidates have made their closing arguments now, and it's the voters' turn.
A third of the Senate is up for re-election, but only 9 of those seats are considered toss-ups. Susan McGinnis is on Capitol Hill with a preview of today's midterm elections.
Voters take to the polls today in an election that will determine which party controls the Senate. Turnout in midterm elections is notoriously low, but some polling stations have prepared for large numbers.
This is not as exciting for voters, but there's still so many important things on this ballot.
Kentucky Republican Senator Mitch McConnell is in a heated battle to keep his seat in the Senate.
This is a chance to begin to save this country. I'm counting on you. Let's go out there and sock it to them. Thank you very much.
McConnell will be in line for Senate Majority Leader if Republicans pick up at least 6 seats today. But first, he has to beat Democrat Allison Lundergan Grimes, who, with many other Democrats, has been trying to distance herself from the president.
He spent $53 million trying to put Barack Obama on the ballot. He's not, I am.
Among 9 battleground seats in the Senate, 7 are held by Democrats. While the CBS Battleground Tracker points to a Republican win, the White House remains hopeful that its Get Out the Vote effort will bring out Democrats.
I do think the Democrats will retain the majority.
The party that takes the Senate will help shape the final 2 years of President Obama's term. But with polls showing several races too close to call, Senate control may remain in doubt beyond Tuesday night. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Washington.
The Republicans only need 6 wins here in the
close.
Senate, and it looks like they're going to get it. This year's midterm elections have seen a record amount of campaign spending. Candidates and outside groups have spent a record $3.67 billion. Wow. Yeah, voters will also decide governors in 36 states and whether to legalize marijuana in Alaska, Oregon, and the District of Columbia.
Yeah, I know, like we said, midterm seems boring, but they're important. Get out there. In other news this morning, Sparks police are looking for a man who they say was last seen in September. 62-year-old David Whitlock is considered missing and endangered. He was last seen on September 22nd by a caretaker at the group home where he lives. He's 6'1", 225 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes, and he may be in the Carson City area. If you know where he is, please call Sparks Police at 353-2231.
In Health Watch this morning, they made their choices. The state has approved 55 medical marijuana dispensaries in Nevada. They were chosen out of more than 500 applications that had been submitted since early August. And it looks like we're going to get 10 dispensaries in Washoe County, with 2 of those in Sparks and 3 in Reno. 2 marijuana dispensaries were also approved in Carson City. Note those businesses now have 30 days to meet local requirements to get their business license.
And in Safety Watch this morning, some of you may have seen it. A young bull moose has been spotted wandering around Humboldt County. They tend to live in wet, marshy areas with a lot of green plants to eat, which is why it's so strange to see one here in our region. We don't have any of that. The Nevada Department of Wildlife says the moose may have followed a creek or a stream down from Idaho, but probably won't stay long because Nevada doesn't have the right habitat to survive and thrive. He's been spotted from Orovada all the way down south of the Highway 95 and 140 junction.
He was about maybe 70, 80 yards off the side of the highway, just standing there. There's a couple other vehicles stopped, taking pictures as well, and pretty strange seeing him out in the middle of the desert, nowhere.
Well, this isn't actually the first time a moose has been seen in the Silver State. Last May, a male and female moose were photographed in the Jarbidge Wilderness in Elko County, but officials say it's unlikely Nevada will ever have a large moose population.
I can understand the male getting lost, but anyway. And new this morning, the U.S. Forest Service will continue their prescribed burns today at Tahoe. Areas affected include the Pioneer Trail and Slaughterhouse Canyon. In total, less than 100 acres are going to be burned over the course of the day, so if you see the smoke in the area, that's why. Authorities say the smoke may be visible from South Lake Tahoe and the surrounding communities.
And looking to our community now, judges from across the country are in Reno this week to learn about how to handle child sex trafficking cases in their courtrooms.
We're bringing together judges from all over the country to run through a curricula to help bring them up to speed on what's happening across the nation and their communities with children that are being exploited sexually.
The summit is sponsored by the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges, which is based right here in Reno. Judges are learning how girls, sometimes as young as 12, are being manipulated by traffickers here in Nevada and across the country. Experts say those victims should be helped rather than prosecuted, and that child sex trafficking is a form of child abuse that preys on young, vulnerable children. The summit does continue through tomorrow.
Also in our community, Reno police officers have been allowed to grow goatees during the month of November to raise money and awareness for men's health.
Last I checked, we're up over $600 for donations alone. I donated even though I'm not growing a goatee because of my military duty, but I am supporting it, as well as many of the members of the department.
The department hopes to raise $1,000 by the end of the month through this effort, dubbed Go-Vember. They decided to grow goatees because they were already able to grow mustaches. The money raised goes toward the Prostate Cancer and Livestrong foundations.
Because, see, there's Movember for the mustache, and
either
Go-Vember.
the goatee works on you or it doesn't. It's Jeff, it would look great on you, but
You're not going to go for it? No.
not so much on you.
No, not on. Oh, I was going to try.
I'm picturing it now. Oh no.